Hello, this is Leroy Trusty, Director of E-Learning here at Harvard Community College. And I wanted to talk to you at this moment about a way that you can use phones or tablets or what computers in your classroom to keep the students engaged. And what I use here is I'm using Polleverywhere.com. That's Poll, that's P-O-L-L, everywhere.com. And this is a site that you can set up that you can use in your classroom to help students keep engaged. Oftentimes, if we spend a lot of time lecturing, we have a tendency to lose students. And I found that I lost students all the time, anytime I lecture. And so I always share some of my ideas because as a faculty member, I find that I have to use tools on occasion to keep things going. New and innovative ways to get the students' attention. And one of the ways that I always get the students' attention is have some music playing in the background, or set up my slides to where music starts coming on at a certain time when I want to do a segue. There's different ways that you can do this when you teach. But this particular one is called Polleverywhere. Now we have clickers in the classroom. You can get the clickers from e-learning and use those in the classroom, and sometimes they work, and we're working with some other products, seeing how we can use the smartphones and the tablets in the classroom with the smartboard. So we're seeing how we can do that. Those are down the road. We have to have faculty that's willing to test these out to see how it works. But one way that we can test the ability of the students is to use this polling system. And I mentioned that in a previous video, that this tool is out there, Polleverywhere.com. Now what I'm showing you right here, a page of what this is. You don't have to create an account if you don't want to. And if you don't, well, it stays on for about 2 weeks, and then it's done away with. Or you can log in and create your own account. It doesn't cost anything, even though it does say pricing and upgrade. Because what you end up with, and a lot of this you end up with advertising. That's okay. Yeah. But your students they see it all the time anyway, with Facebook and Twitter and all the other social media that's out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this. What I did is I created a poll that's titled, "Do you use social media in your classroom?" And I came up with 3 questions: yes, no, and of course the ultimate, what is social media? Because that gives me an idea of how the individuals are working. You'd be surprised how many times I see that as a response, the bar goes over. And I create this, and what the student does, the student uses a text. They text the code, they type in their text 22333. That's the address to this poll, and then they're going to respond to that with one of these 3 codes, 6-digit codes. So if somebody does use social media in their classroom, they will type in 220923 in the subject or in the body of the text, and then send that, and then what it will do is create a statement there. So I'm going to do this real quick, just kind of give you an idea of how that works. Excuse me. And I'm going to go to my text area here. I'm going to write. I'm going to go into the to block, and I'm going to type in 22333. And then in the text block, I'm going to type 220924. And then I'm going to send that. Now it should work. It should be coming in, and there you go. You'll see that when I did that, it sent it to the page. I see that on screen. So now I know, as I'm seeing students type, what's the answer. And then that gives me an idea how many of you use Twitter. And if I get 75% using Twitter, I have an idea if the students use Twitter. I can also do it other ways as well. And so up here I can tweet it, and I can use my tweeter on my phone, I can go in there and type that in under that. What I do is I got to get it up first. I'm going to go into the right section there. I'm going to do an @ Now, we talk about pound being a place to look for information, but in this ccase, you're going to use an @ and then you're going to type in the word poll, and then you're going to type in the code. I'm going to type in that last one there. Just kind of give you an idea how this works. It's really quite interesting, to be honest with you. Now, notice how it changes. So the students should be able to use this, anybody to use this. You're in a meeting, you're in a faculty meeting, or maybe you're in the fact, and you don't want to take people hold their hands up on what they do know and what they don't know. What you may want to do is you may want to use this to get the faculty to respond. Now, there is a limitation to the number of people, and that's the downside when you don't pay for it. But, your classes aren't any larger than 30. So you can do this, your online classes and such. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to pass this on. The best way to pass this on to get it out there is I'm going to hit the tweet button here. And when I hit the tweet button, that's going to send this information. It's going to send my poll to Twitter so that when I'm asking the students to look for it, they're going to see it there, okay? Or I can put it on a web page. I can download a PowerPoint slide that I put up on the screen. It's easy, and then what you do is you just do a share and publish. That's just, to me, that's some of the best ways. If I click share and publish, it's going to give me these areas here. Now, how do I create a poll? I click on create a poll. Now, I'm having a problem here because I don't have all my flash updates, which is the sad part about not having administrative rights to your computer to do the little nasty stuff here. But I can come up with a question, I can type it in, and here, for instance, it says your favorite color, red, blue, or green. You create that, and you click on that. Well, it's not going to allow me to do that because I need to type in something in there. But I type in the question, question of what is today? Now, there's ways that you can do this. Now, see, I gave a question that really is an open-ended, not an open-ended question, but a multiple choice. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Or maybe it is an open-ended question because today is, well, it's not National Hot Dog Day, that's for sure, but it could be someday that you want the students to remember. And so what you do is you create this open-ended response, and then I want to make sure that it's out there for the students. So I'm going to do a share. Again, I'm going to do a share here, and I'm going to do a tweet. I'm going to put it in my tweet. I'll put what is today, and I'm going to tweet it. Okay. Now it's out there on the Twitter feed. Students can go there. They can look at this. They can move on, and they'll get it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to go again. I'm going to use the text to do this, or I can set my responses via Polleverywhere. The reason being it's only these two instead of the three before is because of the limitations with texting and the Twitter and all that to get this information out. But I'm going to go back to the message, my iMessage, and again, if you have a message program set up, you put it out there. Let's see if I'm going to do this. I'm going to go, again, I've got that number already loaded in. I'm going to type in the response here, and that is 221645. I hit my send button, and we'll see what kind of response I get here on this. You know what I did wrong here is I submitted it. I just submitted the number. So let me do that again. Let me type that in. That's 221645. I'm thinking about using this. And I'm going to put on here Monday. I'm going to send it. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully this works this time. Sometimes you got to plan ahead. I have here an answer. Today's Monday. Today it could be somebody's birthday. It also could be something else that we want to make sure the students are aware of. And then we'll see what the students answer. And then here's what happens. This is where it is. Now, if you look down here at the bottom, quick heads up, as an unregistered user, your polls are discarded after 2 weeks of inactivity and are limited to 40 responses. If you want it to go longer, you have to set up a password to save your polls and then check out the paid plans. Now, it's up to you, and it's up to your department how you want to do this. I don't have the funds. I wish I did. I wish they'd give me just a credit card and let me do this stuff so that folks could use this. But anyway, this is how it works. If you get this video within the next 2 weeks, check it out. Test it out. I'm going to put a few of these polls out there on the Twitter and on the Facebook page just so people are aware of it. I may even put it out there on the blackboard to see if folks use it. Again, it's a way of getting students to use this tool in the classroom. You do this, you find out what's going on. A real quick quiz. You have these quizzes made up early. If you have PowerPoints already, you've already got them built. You put it in, work on it the day before, whatever. Have students create quizzes. Have the students create a quiz that's easy to do, a poll. And with that information gets out. Anyway, that's all I have for right now on Polleverywhere.com. Just a good tool to use. Try it out. It doesn't hurt to try it out. That's the key thing. It's just like using a computer. When somebody says, well, I'm afraid to touch it because I may break it. And I worked for a general one time that had a problem with it. And I said, sir, it's unlike an aircraft, it's not going to crash. And if it does, it's an easy reboot. And so that's how you do it. Test this stuff out. Because I'll tell you what, as an administrator, I can tell you to do this, you may not use it. Okay? I'll tell your deans, they're not going to tell you to use it. Try it out for yourself. You use it. Encourage your other faculty friends to use it. Encourage your students to use it. These are tools out there. This is technology. Now don't become a slave to this, but use it in your classroom. Anyway, I'm done preaching here. You guys have a good day. Let me find my off button. Woo-wee!